Why Spain might win the 2026 World Cup. 4 years ago, Spain arrived at Euro 2024 with plenty of talent but very few people calling them favourites. They left as champions of Europe. Now, as the 2026 World Cup begins across North America, something has changed. Spain aren't the outsiders anymore. They're one of the favourites. In fact, depending on which analyst, bookmaker or prediction model you trust, Spain might be the most complete team entering the tournament. Several models and bookmakers have placed them among the top favourites after their Euro 2024 triumph and remarkable run of results under Luis de la Fuente. But here's the thing. Being favourites doesn't win you a World Cup. Just ask Brazil. Just ask France. Just ask England. Just ask Argentina in 2018. The World Cup is football's most brutal tournament. One bad night can destroy 4 years of preparation. One injury can derail an entire nation. One penalty shootout can change history. So today we're not asking whether Spain are good. We already know they are. The real question is this: could Spain actually win the World Cup? And after looking at their squad, their tactics, their manager, their stars and their potential path through the tournament, the answer might be yes. Let's start with the biggest reason. Lamine Yamal. At just 18 years old, Yamal has already become one of the most feared players in world football. Which sounds ridiculous when you say it out loud. 18. Most players that age are trying to break into first teams. Yamal is already carrying the expectations of a footballing nation. And somehow he keeps delivering. After starring during Spain's European Championship triumph, his rise has continued at club level and international level. Many observers now consider him one of the best players in the world and one of the leading candidates to dominate this tournament. What makes Yamal so dangerous isn't just his skill, it's his unpredictability. Defenders don't know whether he's going to dribble, cross, shoot, cut inside, or play a through ball. And when defenders hesitate, Yamal punishes them. World Cups are often decided by moments of brilliance. A single magical play, a single moment that changes a match. Spain may possess the player most capable of producing those moments. Of course, there is one concern: fitness. Heading into the tournament, Spain have been carefully managing Yamal's workload after injury concerns. Coach Luis de la Fuente has repeatedly emphasized caution regarding his recovery. If Yamal stays healthy, Spain's attack becomes terrifying. If he doesn't, everything changes. And that's one of the few genuine worries surrounding this team. Because beyond Yamal, Spain are stacked with talent. Look at the midfield. Rodri, Pedri, Fabian Ruiz, Mikel Merino, Martin Zubimendi. That's absurd. Rodri alone changes games. When Manchester City lost Rodri through injury, their entire season suffered. When Spain have Rodri available, they control matches. He breaks up attacks, controls possession, wins duels, starts transitions, and perhaps most importantly, he makes everyone around him better. Some people still think of Spain as the old tiki-taka team. Hundreds of passes, slow build-up, possession for the sake of possession. But this Spain side is different. Luis de la Fuente has modernized the team. Spain still dominate possession, but now they attack vertically. They attack quickly. They attack with purpose. The result has been one of the most successful periods in recent Spanish football history. Since losing to Scotland during qualification in 2023, Spain have gone more than 30 matches without a defeat in regular time and have become one of the most consistent teams in international football. That's not an accident. That's coaching. And that brings us to Luis de la Fuente. For years, Spanish fans questioned whether he was the right man. Today, those doubts have almost disappeared. De la Fuente has achieved something incredibly difficult. He's managed to blend generations. The veterans trust him. The young players trust him. The dressing room appears united. And perhaps most importantly, the team knows exactly how it wants to play. That sounds simple. It isn't. Many national teams spend entire tournaments trying to figure out their identity. Spain already know theirs. High pressing, fast transitions, technical superiority, relentless movement. When a team has a clear identity, it becomes extremely difficult to stop, especially in tournament football. Now let's talk about the squad itself, because this may be Spain's strongest squad since the golden generation that won the 2010 World Cup. In goal, they have reliability. In defense, they have balance. In midfield, they have elite quality. And in attack, they have game changers. The projected starting 11 is incredibly impressive. Unai Simon in goal, Marcos Llorente at right back, Pau Kubasi and Aymeric Laporte in central defense, Marc Cucurella on the left, Rodri anchoring midfield, Pedri operating alongside him, Fabian Ruiz or Dani Olmo providing creativity, then Yamal and Nico Williams attacking from the wings, with Mikel Oyarzabal leading the line. That's a team capable of beating anyone. And what's even more impressive is the age profile. Unlike some World Cup contenders, Spain aren't relying on aging stars. Many of their best players are entering their prime. Others haven't even reached it yet. That combination of youth and experience is incredibly valuable, especially in a tournament that demands energy and intensity. Speaking of intensity, let's discuss Nico Williams. Because while Yamal gets most of the headlines, Williams might be equally important. Imagine being a fullback. You survive 90 minutes against Yamal, then you switch sides and have to deal with Nico Williams. Good luck. Williams stretches defenses, creates space, forces teams backwards, and his partnership with Yamal gives Spain something few countries possess: elite pace on both wings. Modern football is increasingly about creating 1-versus-1 situations. Spain have two players who thrive in exactly those situations. Then there is Pedri, the player many football purists believe is the heartbeat of this team. When Pedri is fit, Spain become a different side. He glides through pressure, finds passing lanes others can't see, and dictates tempo without appearing to do anything spectacular. The best midfielders often look effortless. Pedri is one of them. If he stays healthy throughout the tournament, Spain's chances increase dramatically. Of course, no team is perfect, and if Spain are going to fall short, there are a few reasons why. The first is injuries. This squad has dealt with several fitness concerns entering the tournament, including Yamal, Nico Williams, and other important players. Spain have depth, but every team has a limit. Lose one star and you adapt. Lose 3 or 4 and suddenly everything becomes much harder. The second concern is central defense. While Spain have talented defenders, some analysts question whether this backline possesses the same aura as the great Spanish defenses of previous generations. Compare them to 2010. Puyol, Piqué, Ramos. Those players intimidated opponents before kickoff. This defense is talented, but they haven't yet built that same reputation. And in a World Cup semi-final, experience matters. Then there's the pressure. Because Spain are no longer sneaking up on anyone. Everyone knows how good they are. Everyone expects them to go deep. Everyone wants to beat them. That's the price of success. And pressure has destroyed many great teams before. The good news for Spain is that their group stage looks manageable. They've been drawn into Group H alongside Uruguay, Saudi Arabia, and Cape Verde. Spain should advance. The real test comes afterward. Potential knockout matches could include Argentina, Brazil, France, Germany, England, Portugal. The road to a World Cup trophy is never easy, and this tournament may feature the deepest collection of contenders we've ever seen. That's why squad depth matters, and Spain have plenty of it. One fascinating storyline involves the complete absence of Real Madrid players from the squad. For the first time in Spanish World Cup history, the squad contains no Real Madrid representatives. Years ago, that would have been unthinkable. Some feared it could create controversy. Instead, the story barely matters. Why? Because the players selected have earned their places. This squad feels merit-based. Players understand why they're here, and that creates trust. Trust wins tournaments. Now let's talk about momentum, because momentum matters more than people realize. Spain aren't arriving at this World Cup after a disappointing campaign. They're arriving as European champions. They've spent the last 2 years proving themselves against elite opposition. They're confident, organized, and battle-tested. Perhaps the strongest argument for Spain isn't any individual player. It's the balance of the squad. France might have more raw athleticism. Brazil might have more flair. Argentina might have more tournament experience. England might have more star names. But Spain arguably have the fewest weaknesses. And World Cups are often won by teams without obvious weaknesses. Think about 2010 Spain. Think about 2014 Germany. Think about 2022 Argentina. Complete teams. Balanced teams. Teams that knew exactly who they were. This Spanish side feels similar. Not identical, but similar. Young stars. Elite midfielders. Clear tactical identity. Strong dressing room. Excellent manager. That's a powerful combination. Could they lose? Absolutely. That's football. Could an injury derail everything? Of course. Could a penalty shootout end their dreams? Without question, that's the World Cup. But if you're asking why Spain might win the World Cup, the answer becomes clearer the deeper you look. They have the best young player in the world. They have one of the best midfielders in the world. They have one of the best managers in international football. They have elite squad depth. They have momentum. And perhaps most importantly, they have belief, not arrogance. Belief. The belief that comes from already winning. The belief that comes from knowing your system works. The belief that comes from beating elite opponents repeatedly. That's why so many experts have placed Spain among the favourites heading into this tournament. The question is whether they can turn that belief into history, because opportunities like this don't come around often. A young superstar, a world-class midfield, a proven coach, a balanced squad. Everything appears to be lining up. And if Spain do lift the World Cup trophy in 2026, don't be surprised, because all the ingredients are there. The talent, the tactics, the confidence, the momentum, and the hunger. Now all that's left is proving it on football's biggest stage. Can Spain become world champions for the second time in their history? Or will another contender stop them along the way? We're about to find out.